The psychology of color in design. There is power to color in design, and there are emotions that are sparked when we view certain colors. And colors can give you a sense of calmness. They can move or spark emotions of happiness and joy. Colors can remind us of something simple from childhood or make us feel hungry. How we pick and choose the colors we use in design are greatly influenced by the type of emotions you want to bring about in your viewer. I created this downloadable resource called the Psychology of Color chart. It lists common emotions associated with colors. So taking a look at this chart, your warm colors, reds, yellows, and oranges, are going to bring more energy and vibrance to your design, with reds being especially powerful. This is why warmer colors tend to be harder to use on large area of designs because of this energy and draw it has, especially reds. There could be a good reason to draw your eyes to a design to gain the attention among the crowds. Red is a great color to use to draw that attention and increase alertness. Red is commonly used on buttons and call to actions to pull your eye toward that area. Reds can easily be overused. Used too much and it can drown a design in too much attention. Reds tend to increase your appetite, so there's a good reason why fast food restaurants tend to favor red in their logos and ads. Red should be used intentionally and with a purpose. Reds can also evoke a response of anger and fear as well, so keep that in mind when considering using this attention-grabbing color. As we move along the color wheel, we run into oranges. Oranges keep some of the enthusiasm and excitements of red, but also starts to combine the energy of yellow. Since they take a little bit of the edge off of red, you can find more ways to use orange in your designs, but also keep that same bright energy. Oranges work wonderfully with cooler colors like blue. They tend to be complements on the color wheel, and it shows as you see orange being that bright highlight in a sea of cool colors. This balance works well in design because it provides a sense of contrast. Now as we continue to move along the warm colors into yellows, the energy is undeniable with yellows, but it can also be one of its biggest weaknesses. Along with pinks, yellow is the least used color in design because it can easily be overused. But it can be a great complement color alongside other colors, where the other colors feed off the brightness of yellow. The only downside is yellow can be hard to see and read when printed, so I try to avoid using it with type unless it's very intentional and very readable. Yellow does have a place in design, but wield it carefully and sparingly. This color can evoke happiness and give off a youthful vibe, and it might be why you commonly see it used in children's products. Yellows can evoke anxieties as well, and it might be why you don't see a lot of yellow used in the healthcare industry. It's now time for green. We start to move toward the cooler colors, and there's a reason why. Green is the color of choice for many cleaning industries. Green equals clean and fresh, but also reminds us of nature. It reminds us of fresh spring days when those bright green leaves start to bloom on the trees after a long, dark, white winter. Green can also be used heavily by the financial industry to show positive gains on wealth and status. We see the stock market highlighted in green, we know it was a good positive day on the market. And there's no wonder why banks commonly use green in their branding. Why not remind viewers of those positive increasing stock market days? There's no wonder that alongside blue, green is one of the most commonly used color palette choices in design. Cyan is a unique color, not as commonly used as some other colors like green and blue, but it combines green's organic, clean feeling with blue's calm feeling to create its own unique blend of the two, and you may commonly see biotech startups use cyan to show optimism. Blue is most commonly used color for brands worldwide, and there's many reasons why, because it evokes emotions like stability and calmness. And banks love to use the color blue for that reason, especially with banks losing trust since the 2008 recession. You also see it used by industrials and those in the manufacturing industry, and you see it also in the healthcare industry. Blue is a great color to use for large areas of a design, like a background for example, especially ones that have shades of blue. Blue can easily stand on its own with less of a need to depend on other colors to tame it down. Blue's chill nature makes it one of the most versatile colors on the color wheel. Next, we move into purple. Purple mixes a bit of stability and calmness of blue with the compassion and vibrance of pink. It starts to take on a bit of warm tones, giving it a little kick. Purple is commonly associated with royalty and sophistication. It's also commonly used in the hospitality industry for that very reason. They want you to feel like royalty. We also see it used by the healthcare industry as well. It has a sense of love and passion that mixes with the stability and trust of blue. Purple is another color that can easily be used in larger areas of a design, yet add a little bit of that energy from the warmer tones. Purple is rich, it's silky, it's luscious, and when used right in a design, it can feel wonderful. Purples are having a bit of renaissance in the design world with a huge resurgence of its use in youthful, vibrant brands. You see purple used as duotones or gradients and as overlays on photos, giving photos a richer retro vibe. Purple and vibrant yellows are complements on the color wheel, and you can see that combination of energy happening every time you see these two colors together. Purple can take up more space in your design, more than the yellows, and your yellows should always just play a highlighting role, being used a little less often to highlight certain areas of the design. Pinks are a bit tough to use because of their strong past association with femininity, but don't count them out too soon as that stereotype is slowly evolving and changing. Pinks can remind us of romance and love. They can also remind us of a simpler time, when no one was afraid of wearing pink, like my favorite decade, the 80s. Pinks are similar to yellows in that they can be hard to use in large areas of a design. Lighter versions of pink tend to do better with this than those hot, bright pinks, which have the same problem as yellow because they're too strong. Pinks work best in tandem with calming counter colors. Take, for instance, this example, where the pink draws your eye, but the cooler color calms it down, just enough to take it all in. And now we come full circle back to reds. Feel free to download this resource as a guide when thinking about how the emotions of color affect your color picking decisions. When doing logos and creating brand color palettes, this should come in handy. Outside of typography, color can move mountains when used right in design. It could change your design from dull to inspiring with a few clicks of a button. Use colors wisely and carefully and with intention. As designers, it takes time to find the right color combos, and the best way to practice this is by creating your own color combos. Try creating a series of your own color combinations. Try just combining 2 simple colors, then try 3, and then work your way up to 4. Think about how the colors you put together make you feel. Remember that contrast in color can work well with a cooler color and a warmer color together, but also analogous or colors that are similar in hue can create a calming, harmonious effect. What emotions do you want to evoke with your design? How does changing a color in your design change how you feel about the design?